My God, I hate drugs.
Another arrest warrant issued against Senator Antonio Trillanes, this time for a libel case. A Davao court ordered his arrest in line with a complaint filed by presidential son and former Davao City Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte in September. Duterte and his brother-in-law Mans Carpio said Trillanes made, quote, false, baseless and unfounded claims when the senator accused them of extorting money from ride-hailing firms. The court set the bail at 24,000 pesos. In September, a Makati court also issued an arrest warrant against Trillanes for rebellion. The lawmaker is out on bail for that case. In a statement, Trillanes said he is ready to face arrest. He said he will post bail on Monday. This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. President Rodrigo Duterte asks Congress to extend martial law in Mindanao for another year. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo confirmed this to CNN Philippines. Mr. Duterte's request follows the recommendation of the police, the military, and the Defense Department to extend martial rule in the South for a third time. Senate President Tito Soto says Mr. Duterte is thinking or eyeing a joint session of Congress on Wednesday to decide on his request. President Duterte placed Mindanao under martial law in response to a terrorist attack on Marawi City in May 2017. The siege lasted for 5 months. The Commission on Elections will hold 2 days of referendum or a 2-day referendum for voters in Mindanao who will decide on the ratification of a law creating a Muslim autonomous region. The announcement comes the same day as the campaign period for the plebiscite officially kicks off. Our senior correspondent David Santos reports from Cotabato City.
Hundreds filled the streets of Cotabato City on Friday, hoping to begin the campaign for the yes vote with a bang. Many of these men are Moro rebels. It's their first foray into a democratic electoral process after years of armed struggle. The plebiscite next month signals the start of their transformation from a revolutionary group to a social movement. The Bangsamoro Organic Law or BOL, the subject of ratification in the referendum, is a result of the peace deal the MILF signed with the government in 2014. Once ratified, the law will replace the current autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao or ARMM. Groups in Sulu are also gearing up for a massive yes vote campaign, while in Lamitan, Basilan, officials express full support for the BOL. In a surprise move, the COMELEC also on Friday announces it will split the plebiscite into 2 days. In an unbanked decision, the ARMM and the cities of Isabela and Cotabato will vote on January 21st to ratify the BOL. On February 6, Lanao del Norte and North Cotabato, which are not part of the ARMM, will decide if they will allow some of their towns and villages to be part of the Bangsamoro.
The reason we split the plebiscite is because we want to give enough time to deal with the issues being raised in the different petitions. We don't want to summarily dismiss everything. No?
Since it will just be a yes and no vote, both the voting and counting will be done manually. The military and police are monitoring threats, especially from other armed groups that may sabotage the plebiscite. They are also keeping an eye on areas like Cotabato City, where there is intense rivalry between those who favor and oppose the Bangsamoro proposal.
Dahil itong martial law, mayroon kaming additional mandate. That is to oversee the governance of the local of our civilian counterpart.
Former presidential peace advisor Jesus Dureza, who resigned recently after President Duterte fired some of his staff over corruption charges, is throwing his support for the yes vote.
Walang iwanan dito. I will be more intensely working in my private capacity.
Close to 3 million voters will be part of the referendum. The campaign period ends on January 19th. In Cotabato City, David Santos, CNN Philippines.
A police assault ended a 20-hour standoff at the home of a mayoralty candidate in the town of Marilao in Bulacan. Police arrested former Vice Mayor Andre Santos after a brief chase that ended on the roof of his home at 4 this afternoon. A SWAT team fired tear gas into his house before the assault to camouflage their entry. Santos hid in his room around 8 last night when an arrest warrant was served. He was reportedly carrying a gun and a grenade, prompting the police to negotiate for his surrender. Santos is facing a case over an unpaid loan. And the annual Symphony of Lights in Cagayan de Oro City kicks off. The city spent at least 1 million pesos for the project. Other events include the Pascorela and the Pasco de Oro Parade competition, where motorella or tricycle drivers decorate their units for the holidays.
Of course, we will be praying for their food, for their families. We're here to still support them. He has a wife and he has 2 children.
Mayor Lani, right after the decision was read in the Sandigan Bayan, I understand you went back to Camp Crame. That was the only time na nag-empake, no? I suppose.
Yes.
Can you describe to us what the situation was like?
Well, we waited. Everybody was happy. We waited for the papers coming from the Sandigan Bayan. He went through a medical checkup to check if he's physically okay.
Yeah. Well, what was it like, ma'am, to pack up doon sa detention cell?
Siyempre, you have to, nakakataranta actually dahil you have to pack up his stuff. We left some of his items still because we were not prepared in getting vehicles for some of his stuff. So far so good. We're out. That's what's most important. Yeah.
Okay. And tonight there's some. I understand some sort of a celebration. What's going on there? Can you describe to us the atmosphere and what? Well, I understand there's some sort of a little program going on.
Not really. Bong just wants to visit Imus Cathedral and say a prayer and visit the burial area of his mom, and then he'll be visiting his father and have dinner with the family.
Kanina, ma'am, kausap namin si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, and he was saying that he's expecting a verdict on his case, hopefully early next year, and hopefully before the campaign begins in February. Have you heard of that? And what are your thoughts on that? Kasi ang tanong ko rin kay Senator Jinggoy kanina is, are you hopeful now? Does the acquittal of Senator Bong Revilla give you hope for your own case?
Yes, I do believe this particular decision has weight on the case of Senator Jinggoy, but we still have to wait and respect also the decision of the division which handles Senator Jinggoy's case. And we are praying and we are also hopeful that he would also get the same verdict as what has happened to Senator Revilla.
I'm sure, ma'am, this is a very overwhelming time for you, but I need to ask this also because, like we mentioned already, campaign begins in February. Is this something that you thought about? Because if there was no verdict yet of if in this case an acquittal, no, and that would mean that the campaign begins in February. Ano yung mga plano nyo?
Alam mo, Pia, sa ngayon we're just taking it one day at a time. Siyempre, there are campaign schedules on the way. Siguro, pag-unahin po muna namin mag-settle down si Senator Bong.
And kayo rin, and your children,
yes,
right?
Yeah. It has been very tiring.
Yeah.
Siguro mag-settle down muna, pamilya muna, oras muna sa pamilya din. We will be facing the campaign schedules and invitations. Actually, maraming invitation to Senator Bong to go around the country and visit the different parts of the country.
Interesting that you use the word settle down because, well, that's one thing you need to do because, syempre, like you said earlier, no, it's very difficult to have your spouse away from you for years. And then all of a sudden, tonight will be the first night magkakasama kayo in your own home for the first time. So this is something you need to get used to again, right?
Yes. So ito yung kumbaga walang deadlines, walang cut-off time na sasabihin hanggang alas 5 ka lang, lalabas na kayo. At least ito dire-diretso magkakasama kaming lahat buong pamilya.
Okay. Well, final words, Mayor Lani Revilla.
Well, I think all of you have prayed for my husband and to have supported him all this time. Nagpapasalamat din po kami sa Sandigan Bayan for this decision. Truly, this is a great Christmas for my family and prayers have been answered. Thank you very much, Pia.
Mayor Lani Revilla, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hopes are high for a co-accused in the pork barrel scam. Speaking to CNN Philippines, Revilla's friend, former Senator Jinggoy Estrada, says he's praying he will also be acquitted as early as next year.
I will just leave my faith with the Sandigan Bayan. But it's a big boost because my friend Senator Revilla was acquitted early this morning, and I hope to follow suit. I'm just hoping and praying that I will be acquitted of all the charges against me.
This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Filipinos reacting to a former senator walking free. We read some of your thoughts on Bong Revilla's acquittal.